We are in the great outdoors of New Mexico, where nature and man commune in harmony with each other, and time is only a barometer for human habits. During the past several days, hundreds of covered wagons loaded with Indians from all parts of the West have been slowly rolling over the roads leading into the city of Gallup. For this is the time of the famous intertribal ceremonies, in which over 30 tribes are represented at Gallup, Indian capital of the West, and a colorful rendezvous for red men on parade. Although it is generally believed that the North American Indian is gradually vanishing from the face of the earth, recent calculations prove that there are actually more Indians in the United States today than were when Columbus discovered America, and many of them still adhere to their tribal religions, customs, and handicrafts. The covered wagons of the white man's yesterday are now the chief mode of transportation for the Indian families of today, and this fact is convincingly illustrated by a glance at one of the Indian parking lots at the intertribal meet. Among the many interesting attractions that are featured at this great gathering is the Navajo rug weaver at work. The Navajo Indians' ability to weave beautiful rugs with no pattern to follow, other than that which they create as they work, is a remarkable achievement, exclusively displayed by the Navajo people. No two rugs are identical, and each one is the same on both sides. Another feature, characteristic only of Navajo rugs. The Navajo's skill in the handworking of silver and turquoise jewelry is equally remarkable. Turquoise is the sacred stone of the Navajo, and according to tradition, it was first found in one of their underworlds. The making of Indian pottery seems to be the special heritage of the Hopi tribe, represented here by Maria and Julian Martinez, who in their time have molded thousands of the clay ornaments and receptacles that now adorn the homes of visitors, many of whom have seen them at work and patronized their trade. Although the Indians naturally take great pride in their work, in order to encourage them to adhere to the best traditions of their race and to continually improve their workmanship, prizes are awarded for the finest arts and crafts. And here is Kawaya, competing with his Hopi Kachina dolls. These dolls are carved out of cottonwood, and each Kachina is made to resemble one of the Hopi gods. So much for the arts and crafts. Now let us turn our attention to the diversions of the day. This procession features a group of women from the Zuni tribe, an independent tribe that clings tenaciously to their Aboriginal religion, customs, and ceremonies. From the Canadian border on the north to the Mexican border on the south, these red men have come in all their colorful glory, proudly to represent their respective tribes at the head big Indian powwow of the year. And needless to say, one of the main attractions of this grand gathering is tribal dancing under the stimulus of the unfailing Indian drum. To the Indian, the dance is universal and instinctive, the physical means of manifesting every human emotion. Some of these dances have religious significance, but most of them are in the nature of celebrations after a successful harvest. This is the Apache Devil Dance, also known as the Crown Dance, because of the fantastic headgear worn by the principal performers. These Apaches, not unlike the devil dancers of Ceylon, gyrate and pantomime to a weird chant, which they believe will drive away evil spirits. Approximately 75 different Indian dances are presented at the ceremonial. This particular dance is the Pueblo Rain Dance, performed so that the gods will send rain for the crops. And now for the Rodeo. Ride him, cowboy! The Cherokee Indians from Oklahoma are particularly proud of Chief Stanley, champion Indian roper. The Navajo women join the festivities and engage in a friendly tug of war. Among the many interested spectators at this event is Big Chief Laughing Water from Oklahoma. These Navajos represent the largest Indian tribe, now numbering about 50,000, of whom not more than 10% speak English. Although many of the Indians have not taken very kindly to Christianity, those who have are devoted followers of this faith, and even in their dancing regalia, they adorn themselves with the sacred emblems of their new religion. These are dancers from Taos, New Mexico. It is an interesting fact that not a few of the Indians who are educated in some of our finest schools and universities very often return to their tribes and reassume the manners, customs, and dress of their people in preference to those of the white man. And here is an excellent example of that practice. Two intelligent young Indian girls with college diplomas who have chosen to live as their forefathers lived. And somehow, as we drive away from the intertribal meet, out into the great open spaces again, it is not difficult for us to understand why the Indian, educated or otherwise, inherently returns to the land which gave him birth, as well as all that he needs for his livelihood. For here there is natural beauty and peace. And here, as the poet Browning might say, God's in his heaven, and all's right with the world.